Hello and welcome to another video here on the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. Today it's a match reaction video where we're going to be reviewing the West Bromwich Albion versus Sheffield United game. A game in which I can finally say West Bromwich Albion picked up their first Premier League win of the season. A 1-0 victory against Sheffield United at the Hawthorns, with the only goal coming from Chelsea loanee Conor Gallagher. Today we're going to be going through that in detail, but make sure if you're new around here to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and also comment your thoughts on the game down in the comments below. Also, the Baggies Podcast episode 20 is going to be out on Monday, so make sure you're going and checking that out at 5 o'clock. So make sure you're going to go and watch that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or even YouTube, wherever you want to watch that. It's available for you from Monday at 5 p.m. Also, if you're new around here, make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Baggies Pod, where you can get involved in the podcast and also different things that we're going to be doing here on our YouTube channel. But without further ado, let's get straight into this review of Sheffield United versus West Bromwich Albion. So, as I've already mentioned, West Bromwich Albion picked up the first league victory of the season, a 1-0 victory against Sheffield United at the Hawthorns. It was a real nail-biting clash, with Sheffield United having plenty of chances on goal, but also West Brom having their fair share as well. We started off the game, Sheffield United came out the traps very quickly. They came onto us very quickly for the first 5 to 10 minutes. They really put us to the sword, with Sam Johnstone having to make a fantastic save from Ollie Burke. I haven't seen a better save like it actually this season from Sam Johnstone. A wonderful save. Ollie Burke glanced a header on. Of course, playing against his former club, Ollie Burke. Same with Callum Robinson again for Sheffield. But Ollie Burke playing for Sheffield against his former club, West Bromwich Albion. I have to say he did more in the game. I think he must have played about 60 minutes. Did more in the game than he did in his entire 3 years at West Bromwich Albion. He looked really bright actually, which was strange, but I still think we got the better end of the deal with Robinson. But he did make that glancing on header, Ollie Burke, which ended up with Johnstone having to make a fingertip save over the bar. As I mentioned, Conor Gallagher got the only goal of the game with a lovely, it's a bit of a weird, unorthodox sort of finish. Matheus Pereira crossed the ball in from a corner, where Sander Berger headed it away, and it came to the edge of the box to Conor Gallagher, who sort of side-footed it into the net. It was a really lovely finish, but it seemed to take an age to get to the back of the net, sort of bobbled along the ground. It was a really odd finish, but one that ended up in the back of the net nonetheless, and it gave us the advantage after some early pressure from Sheffield United. We then went on to dominate a large proportion of the game, I'd say till about 60 minutes on the clock. From about the 20-minute mark, we had a large dominant spell. We tend to knock the ball around quite well. We had lots of good performance in the side yesterday as well, including Sam Johnstone, the goalkeeper, as I've already mentioned, made a lovely fingertip save from an Ollie Burke header, but also had a lot else to do with the game, making save after save. Another notable one coming from Ollie McBurney when he found himself with a chance in the box. Plenty of other close blocks and plenty of command in his area, something which a lot of West Brom fans are quite critical about. He managed to make several of those sort of coming out and punching the ball, which was fantastic to see from Sam Johnstone. People criticise his domination of his penalty area, his communication and all that, but it was flawless yesterday. And I have to say, if Gareth Southgate was watching that game, surely he's got to have Sam Johnstone in the back of his mind for potentially an England call-up. He did a fantastic job yesterday, and I can't see any reason why he wouldn't be called up for England. He's done a really good job there. And over the past couple of games, really, the Tottenham game, he made quite a big mistake in potentially giving the game away. But then over these last couple of games, he's really pulled himself together and really bounced back against the critics and come out with a really good performance. Sheffield United, of course, as I've mentioned, had their fair share of chances. Ollie McBurney coming close, Ollie Burke coming close, George Baldock with another great chance, Lys Mousset nearly with an open goal missing. I mean, Sheffield United, is one that we really had to win, and we did. But Sheffield United, surely if you were one of their fans, you'd be absolutely fuming that you haven't taken one or at least 1 point out of the game. Maybe even 3 with the chances that they had. You felt that they had plenty of opportunities to score, and they just didn't take them. Another notable mention has to be Matheus Pereira, who for me played absolutely outstandingly yesterday. Playing more in that central role, we played a 3-5-2 with Grady Diangana dropping to the bench and Callum Robinson coming into the side. But Pereira, playing in that number 10 role, played really well. He created 9 chances, which is the most a player has created in the Premier League this season in one match. So it's fantastic to see Matheus Pereira racking up some good numbers in the game yesterday. He's really pivotal to a lot of things that we did. Obviously, crossing the ball in for the corner. It was actually a terrible corner. It didn't even beat the first man, but it came back to Conor Gallagher, who slotted home nicely. Another man is a man who's on the calendar this month, which is Romain Sawyers. I don't think you can quite see him, but Romain Sawyers, I thought he was quite good as well. He also has his fair share of critics, but he did play well. A notable performance for all the West Brom players, giving 100% right until the end. Something which we really like, really like to see as West Brom fans. It's the effort's been there over the past couple of weeks against Tottenham and indeed Man United. The effort was completely there in both those games. Just unlucky, really. The VAR decisions, we can moan about those all we want. Tottenham, just a bit of unlucky, a bit of a goalkeeping error at the end, which meant that we were unlucky to lose. So we felt like it was building up, and we perhaps were a bit lucky in this game to win. But I have to say, being unlucky in those last 2 games probably lead to this one, and we deserve to have a bit of luck on our side, having not had very much over the past couple of games. But another thing about the podcast tomorrow is that I had an interview with TalkSport 2, which was fantastic to get involved with. I was interviewed after the game on Saturday night, and they interviewed me and asked me some questions. So that clip is going to be in the podcast tomorrow. So make sure you're listening if you want to see that. Going back to the game, it was 100% a fantastic team performance from West Bromwich Albion. All the players giving 100%, everybody pulling their weight. It was fantastic to see. We were probably unlucky that we didn't score maybe 1 or 2 other, because at the end of the game you found that Kanu and Pereira were isolated with a couple of centre-backs, on the counter-attack, because Sheffield United obviously are going to throw more men forward to try and get a result out of the game, and we were starting to counter-attack them, which I felt that if we could have got a goal or 2 there, it would have definitely killed the game off towards the late stages. But however, we stuck with it. It was a real nail biter. I mean, they added on 7 minutes of added time, so we, West Brom fans, I've seen lots of people with, like me, no nails left after those last few minutes. We were quite lucky to get away with a win. But however, we did work hard and we probably did deserve the win. However, Sheffield United will be kicking themselves about the missed opportunities that they had. Surely you'd be fuming as a Sheffield United fan, having all those chances and not being able to convert one of them. That's probably one of their biggest problems this season. They're now 1 point at the bottom of the table. We, however, are 17th now. Fulham still to play, so they could potentially overtake us if they beat Leicester, which I think is tomorrow at 5:30 if I'm correct in saying. But we're 17th at the moment, out the relegation zone thanks to that win, and it means that we can sort of build confidence. And we're going to play Crystal Palace next, which hopefully is going to be a game that we're going to be able to win. With them having lost their past 2 games, it could be one that we could pick up a victory in. And make sure you stay tuned for a match preview, which is going to be coming out later in the week, probably about Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I'm going to be doing a match preview to that game for Sunday. But that's the ticket really. If you score the goals in the Premier League, you get the wins. And thankfully we took the big chance that we had with Conor Gallagher, and Sheffield United were unable to convert theirs, which I feel bad for them because they were unable to convert their chances. And you do feel hard done by if you were Sheffield United, because you had so many and your strikers just couldn't put them away. However, a perfect victory for West Bromwich Albion, a goal and a clean sheet at the other end for Sam Johnston, who was absolutely outstanding, my man of the match. And basically, that's the end of the match reaction video. So make sure you're going over to our Twitter and following us at the Baggies Pod, and making sure you're going over to Apple and Spotify podcasts, where you can pick up the podcast on Monday at 5 o'clock, where that's going to be available for you. And you guys have been getting involved on Twitter, sending in your polls and stuff, so make sure you're getting involved with that on our Twitter page at the Baggies Pod. Also, preview for Crystal Palace, as I've already mentioned, is going to be coming out very, very soon. But that brings us to the end of this match reaction, so thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're new, and make sure you comment in your thoughts on yesterday's game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. My name's been Louis, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.